Hello everyone. So this series we will be discussing earnings management. So this is just an introduction into the series. So this series will have two components. One is real and the other is accrual. So we are going to look into the components or what are the things we're going to be discussing in this slide series. So first of all, we will be looking at earnings management. The first question would be, what is earnings management? The second would be like looking into the background of earnings management and the components of earnings management. So here is where it differentiates between two components or two ways of doing earnings management. One is real and the other one is accrual and calculations of earnings management. And again, we will be looking at two perspectives. One will be looking at real and the other one would be looking at the accrual. So even the series or the video series will have two aspects. One will be looking at the theoretical part and the other part will be looking at the practical series. The practical is where we apply the components knowledge into actual practice and putting it in a spreadsheet. So basically we will be looking at Microsoft Excel to do the calculations. So earnings management, and I have added a quote here saying, we are in good shape. Nobody understands our financial statement. Yes, the financial statements are prepared by the accountants and audited by certified auditors and should show a true and fair view. But as human beings and dictated by the agency relationship, there is a fine line between earnings management and earnings mix management. And the fine line or the line is just determined by how effective the corporate governance of the company is, how it's reinforced by securities and managerial labor markets, standard setters, security commissions, and codes. So just because your financial statements looks positive doesn't mean it is not manipulated. There are instances where it can be manipulated by the management of the company. So that is what we are saying here. So the fine line where the managers of the company do not uphold the professional ethics and they put the personal gains and personal agenda rather than the company as a whole, and they try to mismanage it. And that's what we are going to understand from this video series. So what's earnings management? So we will be looking at real earnings management as well as accrual earnings management. So I have added another joke. If you pay your invoice on time, it will mess up our accounting system. So it's better you keep it late. So this is delaying the timing. So this is the one example of real earnings management. Whereas accruals earnings management is simply manipulating the accounting policies and standards to achieve certain positive outcomes. So now in this series we will be looking at real earnings management and what's accruals earnings management in a understandable manner, mostly focusing on how to calculate it. Now when it comes to calculation, it's not going to be easy. Like as soon as you see a formula, whether it is mathematical or statistical, you should understand mathematics or statistics. It's not about numbers, equation, computation, or just algorithms. It's about understanding, okay, what is happening here. So you should be able to deconstruct a equation and understand what is it means. And in order to understand that, you should have knowledge and a certain why is it happening, why is this thing here, why is this symbol means. So it is simply saying by the quote, like, in order to explain it, which Richard Feynman said that if you have understood it, you should be able to explain it. And if you can explain it, that means you have understood it. And the next part, apart from the equations for the earnings management, whether it's real or accrual, you need to collect the data. And the data itself is like garbage. So, and that's why I have added this Mark Twain's quote. Data is like garbage. You better know what you're doing. Sorry, you would better know what you are going to do with it before you collect it. So, in simple terms, you should know, okay, what kind of data I need, or the plan to collect the data, and should know what to do with it. Because if you want to understand real earnings management, you should not collect data for accruals based earnings management, and vice versa. If you want to understand or analyze accrual management, and you collect data components for real earnings management. So that's why in this series we will be discussing separately, okay, which part of it is required and which part of it is not required. So data is like garbage, data is messy, data is hectic unless you know how to organize it, sort it, and analyze it, and present the findings and calculate it. If you don't know how to do it, you will be in trouble. So in this series, we will be doing data management as well in a very simplest form in a couple of minutes. Calculation part, or calculations of earnings management. So again, as a continuation of the previous slide, data collection is stressful and data analysis is painful. If you do not know what you're doing, it's going to be stressful. You won't achieve it. So always have a plan, and you should know what you're collecting and how are you going to analyze. And that is the core part of this video series in two sections, where one will be focusing on real and the other part will be focusing on accruals. Data are just summaries of thousands of stories. Tell a few of those stories to help make the data meaningful. It's a quote by Dan Heath. So just because you have thousands of data, it's going to tell you thousands of stories, but you should know which story you're going to tell, whether you're going to tell the accrual part or the real earnings management part. So you should know where to find it, how to present it, how to analyze it. And that's the most important part in this video series. Do not make your life complicated by just randomly following different types of information. Find renowned research publications, watch tutorials which are meaningful and presented by insightful educators, and take advice from your supervisors and take advice from your peers with regarding to data analysis and data collection, because if it's garbage in, it's garbage out. So make sure, even if you take a lot of data, make sure you sort it, organize it, and present it, analyze it, and calculate it in the proper way. Finally, earnings management. So one of the most important part is knowing what to do and knowing how to do it. And the why is to improve ourselves. So this is another system, or it's a most theory presented by economists. And even in Simon Sinek's books, he talks about why, how, and what. when why is should be the core part. So why are we doing this? Not just to pass a research program or a master's thesis, is to understand, okay, to improve ourselves. So you should know three things: your why, and you should know how to do it, and you should knowing what to do it. And hopefully this video series will help you to achieve those three components. Thank you.